Hello everybody and welcome to the second series of my survival playthrough. Series 2. So what is Series 2 going to be about? A brief summary. Series 2 is literally going to be about expansion and building a base. Basically, we're just kind of living out of the mechanic shop at the minute. And I'm not going to lie, I'm happy with where we are. It's convenient. There's plenty of stuff around. So this is where I'm going to set up shop. I'm going to look at expanding everything. And we're going to be looking at expanding the farm. And obviously we're going to look at building a base. I've decided I do want to build a sort of a sky base or a floating base, or just I want to build up rather than building out on the ground. I want to go up. So this is what we'll be doing. We'll be using the farm as kind of a little footprint, if you like. So obviously we'll have to enable us to have some room to expand the farm, but I'm going to be building above it. And also I want to be building out of wood. The reason why I want to build out of wood over the top of any other material is we'll just look around. There's one thing that we are not short of. It is in fact trees. So in order for us to build wood, we're going to need wood, which that's not too difficult. I mean, our little guy over here, our little skid steer that you saw in the first series, he's capable. He's awesome. He is capable. But I was wondering if we've got something a little bit more efficient. So that is where we are going to go today. Today we're going to be building a new tree harvester. The kind of concept I have in mind is easily described as a tree hugger, I guess, and I suppose it's probably the sort of main design that most people have probably done, but I want to design something that can go up to a tree and will basically wrap around and it will kind of hold it upright and it will cut and let gravity do the rest. But what I'm thinking for this is we don't want something that's tall straight away. We want something that we can drive up that's somewhat flat, that we can drive up and then we can push a button and it'll stand up against the tree and then it'll wrap round. I like to keep my weight quite low when I'm driving, so that's the reason behind that. So I'm guessing we're going to be building this out of wood and mesh block. The reason again for the mesh block is to hopefully allow the trees to slide down, because ultimately the mesh block is the least friction block. So I've got us a few controllers and switches and wheels, and yeah, we'll see how we get on with this. Basically I'm not entirely sure how it's going to look or what we're aiming for. I have had a rough look at the kind of size that we can allow around a tree, and it's between 5 and 6. So I'm feeling if I do this and then build on the outside of one, and that gives me 5 between. So that's what we're looking at, and basically we'll attach the saw blade on the bottom, and hopefully that will just kind of nick the tree. So then what I'm thinking is, obviously we want to be kind of weight distributed. Now the issue that we're going to have is when we hold the tree and we've cut it off the ground, it's going to want to throw us every which way but loose. So this is where we're going to have some sort of stabilizers to kind of balance us out, really. I'm not entirely sure how or where we're going to do this. So we're going to do these here. I'm going to attach a bearing on the insides. This is going to be our first port of call, if you like. Then we're going to want our mesh block. That's a full length at 16. Okay, we'll run a full length out. So that's going to stand up nice and easily. We are going to need something to rotate around and grip us into the tree. So, this one and this one. When we get to where we're going, we want it to stand up. So when we get to where we're going, we want these to go and stand up. Then we're going to want to wrap the tree somehow. So then we want to be here on this one. And on this one, we're going to want a bearing. So this bearing can nibble out. But just for now, I'll use wood and just have a little look-see. If I then come out here, so we do this. And then we want to go 3 goes to nearly 360. So this is kind of what we're hoping for. I've got to just change this around. So we'll take this out of this one, and when we're up to the block, we want it to go at least to 70. So we pull up. Goes up, so we're next to the side of the tree. And then this bit folds in. So this is how we're looking at the minute. This is what I'm feeling, okay? So we're going to put our wheels on here. These will be our front wheels, so we're going to have rear wheel steering. We're going to keep it nice and low to the ground, give us a nice low profile. So the idea is we trundle up to the tree, and once we're up to the tree, press the button. These guys open up and wrap the tree up. Then this door swings in and squeezes us against the tree, squeezing the tree nicely into us. So the issue that we're going to face is we're going to need a back piece. So I'm thinking I could maybe put that back piece in here. And it'll be something like this. Again, out one more. So that will be like that. So when that's laying down, it will look something like that. So you need to separate that. So if we put that at 270 there, zero that one off. So now what will happen is that will close first. Then it will sit back down. Coolio, coolio, coolio. Which means that we can fill this inside with whatever we need to fill it with. So I'm thinking if we do this, gonna need some steering. For now, we're gonna keep very rustic. We're gonna stick with the blocks for steering. Not everybody's cup of tea, but this is just a prototype. So bring this out a little bit more. We'll probably bring the wheels out a little bit more actually. Then we'll keep it as is. So we'll be a little bit like this. Right, now, unfortunately we're going to nick the seat off the skid steer, and we're also going to nick that engine off the skid steer. Just simply because, well, we need it. And we're also going to nick that off the skid steer. So now, we are going to have seat, front row seat. We're going to have our engine. We're going to hook the engine up to the seat, and we're going to hook the button up to the seat. We're also going to connect the drive wheels to the engines. Okay. Jump this on the lift. And then we're going to put a bearing here, and the saw blade goes on here. Might need to bring that out. Not entirely sure. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, there's no suspension on this or anything like that, so it's going to be a little bit tight. But we're hooking that up to that. Switch number 2. Put it on the back for emergency purposes. So switch number 1 will sort us out, and switch number 2 will do its due. Let's see how this goes. So if we jump in, forwards and backwards, left and right, yeah. Number 1. Am I going to get hit in the face being sat here? No. Okay. Might not have enough room there. Might not have enough room. So number 3 wants to rotate. If we say, again, another 270, just so it squares it off. We'll see how that goes. Number 2 obviously spins up the blade and does what we need it to do. Okay. We'll let this get to daytime and we'll give it a check out, see how it works. Let's go and check this out, shall we? Straight away, it's obvious we need a little bit more ground clearance, that's a given. Try this bad boy over here. So the theory is, we drive up to the tree. This is going to be too big, I can already sense it. We drive over, pull up. Yep, he's too wide. So that's the end of that one. Let's try a little one. Let's try a little one. Let's start with the small ones and work our way up. Let's try this one then, shall we? Let's not run before we can walk. So the idea is we pull up to it. It goes either side. Awesome. The back comes round, folds us in. Awesome. Now, arguably, if we start cutting now... How's that looking? Saw blade's just missing it. Oh no, it's not. It's getting it. And then the tree slowly slides in. And it does work. It's just not exactly the most efficient sort of thing I've ever seen. What about if we had a collector on here somehow? Can we fit a resource collector on here? Just to kind of pull out the seeds, just to pull out the trees that are in the way. Mind you, saying that, it's working pretty well. It's kind of capturing themselves. It is taking its time though, there's no two ways about that. Okay, so I think we've blocked it off with the resources. How's that, any better? No, okay. Kind of works now. If it falls onto the blade, it's awesome. Okay, that works pretty well if it falls onto the blade. So maybe if we bring the blade a little bit further forward then. That might help us out a bit, maybe. No, so that's not really getting it now. Wouldn't have thought it would do after it's fallen through the gap. So back to the drawing board for that one then. It's not working as I kind of hoped it would do. It does and it doesn't. I guess we need to put the blade on a piston so that we can withdraw it and we can push it out. That might help us out a little bit. So in order for that to go on a piston, everything's going to have to move. How far do pistons push when they're basic piston? A push limit of 7, okay. It's already going to be too close, I can feel it. Ooh, it might be alright, you know. want that on a push button. And then we have a little bit of control over the piston. Ever so slightly. Make the push button up to the piston and then to the seat. Cool. Oh, that's awesome. That's plenty. So, find another unwilling volunteer. So, the idea is you bomb up to your tree. You open up. Oh, the back locks in. And the front's on its way around. And the front locks against the tree. Start up the motor for the cutting disc. Which has probably got not any fuel in it. It has. So that's pretty cool. Right. Then if we push the piston. We're a little bit better. We are kind of rolling backwards, but we're getting the cut that we need. That's much better. Okay. And that's it. That's the whole tree. So that's pretty cool. That seemed to be a little bit more effective that time. So that was only a little tree. What about if we go for a bigger tree? Let's try this one right in front of us. I don't know how this is going to work, if it's going to work. So we rock up to the tree. So we rock up to the tree as close as we can get. Number 1. Lifts. Awesome. Close the back end. Awesome. Close the front. What's going to happen to us here? Pulled us in nice and close. Number 2 starts the motor. We have the tree. Number 3. It's a bit rocky, but we've got it. We've got it. There we go. The gravity does the work and the tree slides down. Just need somewhere to put the resource collectors. I think that's the only thing that's stopping us now, is the trees getting stuck on the existing tree resources. We can break this pretty well. And then you get an intruder like that turn up. So we'll just remove him so he doesn't interrupt us too much. But yeah, once we've found a place for the resource collector, get these out of the way. We are laughing. Here we go again, onto the button. So the saw blade seems to be more efficient at cutting the trees sideways on rather than on the point, strangely enough. But I am now stuck. There we go. That's another one done. See if we can't walk this down a bit. Bumping that number 1 button open, so it slides it down. There we go. Awesome. So we're going to need a little bit of ground clearance or something in order to do it, but it does seem to work so far. Final try, I guess, will be one of these trees. Now, I've got a bad feeling about these because of the branches. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. So, we wrap round it close enough. Press number 1. Yeah, and you see we hit the branches and we push away. That's obviously a big problem. Because we're never going to get close enough to the tree, and as the door comes around it pushes away. Okay. Small issue. That's a shame. With our newfound knowledge, the saw blade cuts better on its side than it does on the bladey bit, though. We can take that and we can develop this a little bit more. So as the night rolls in, I'll just go grab all the wood and collect it all and get it all sorted out. And we'll come back and we'll redesign this tomorrow. Well, that seemed to power through it. Okay. I have a new idea. Last one, final one. So I spent all night working on this, and here is what I came up with. So it seems that the trees cut better if the saw blade hits them on their side, okay? So hopefully this will work. I'm not entirely sure. But if we jump over the top of them, start up the motors and push the push button, we can sort of squash the tree. This is a little bit more efficient than the last time. And I can upgrade this to use logic on the piston so that I don't have to pump it. If we take down the entire tree as well as it getting caught on us, hopefully we can drive over it. Can get above it. We just feather that push button. Jobs are good in. As long as we stay centre, that's the only thing that we're going to miss on now. So once we get some concrete, if I make the chassis of this out of concrete, make us a little bit heavy, so we don't rise up too easy, we might have it. But this seems it's a little bit more efficient, it's quicker, so I'll be able to race through things a little bit easier. And in fact, I might be able to just move things around a bit, but I think I can get the resource collectors on this. And in fact, that might give us a little bit of weight, actually. Probably going to have to turn up the engine. Awesome. It reaches everything that we need it to reach. Get over the top of it. Turn it on. That's heavier as well now. That's awesome. That's much better. It's nice and heavy with the resource collectors on as well, so it doesn't lift us up. Especially as they start to fill up. And it loads us straight in. That is so much better. Right. This is our new tree harvester. With this, we'll be able to start cracking on with our wooden base. And it'll be absolutely fantastic. We got there in the end. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.